Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we are going to do a recap of 2020 and just talk about the year in general. So I did a...
So feel free to turn off now.
What?
So feel free to turn off. 2020 recap. Rubbish.
No, don't be silly. I did this as sort of like a podcast episode on the Running Hub podcast. I got some great questions from Instagram and basically I thought it went down really well, so I thought I'd do the same thing for YouTube, but also have James involved, because when I recorded it, it was in the mid of December when James was still at work, and then we're now in tier 4, so James...
Back in tier 2 life.
Tier 2 life?
When you recorded the podcast.
Right, I see. Yeah, but we're tier 4 now, just so you know.
Tier 5 pending.
Who knows? So yeah, I thought James could get involved, and it's just adding that extra dimension, and you can give your answers as well. So if you want to listen to me on my own, you can you can go listen to the podcast, but if not, James and I are going to answer the
Good
same.
sleeping material. No, I'm joking.
Yeah. You bet you haven't even listened to it, have you?
No, I listen to you talk all day long.
Thanks. Okay, so let's kick start. The first question came from Sue Boothby, and she asked, it's been a tough year, but what has kept you going? I'll let you go first.
Oh, this wasn't rehearsed, was it?
Do you want me to go?
No.
What's kept you going this year?
Setting my own goals, really, I think. So the first lockdown was, as much as it was a bit of a shock to the system for everyone, it was a bit of a novelty, wasn't it? So it's kind of nice to live like an athlete for a couple of weeks.
Yeah, James
Train,
James
sleep,
certainly did. Yeah.
Feed, train again.
You embraced it. But I think the main thing, like you said about setting goals, is that I'm sure that whatever you went into 2020 with was totally different to what you expected. So you just set yourself goals.
You need to set little goals.
Yeah.
That equal up to big goals. And obviously you and I have had a lot of conversations with your clients this week about, oh, what's the point in setting goals for next year? Well, don't set goals for next year, set goals for the first 2 months.
Yeah. And that's what you did, didn't you? You just like broke it down into different sections of the year based on like how everything was unfolding. And
yes.
Yeah, you did well. Like you said, train like an athlete at the start of the year. You did a challenge in November where you did 400 miles.
Yeah, that one was probably a bit more silly though, because I've
not
recovered since then.
Bike and cycling, and yeah, that's the only thing. Like, so I do say, like with caution, with some challenges, they're all like well and good, but yeah, you just have to be careful because yeah, you've struggled a little bit with recovery after that with just such like huge volume. But you did well. You managed to do it, and it kept you motivated during November.
Yeah, it was a lot easier the first one as well because it was sunny.
Yeah, it's harder this time around.
Yeah, November was a bit tougher. Going out dark in the morning, dark in the afternoon, dark in the day, just dark, wet. And
to be fair, actually, the first couple of weeks the weather wasn't too bad, was it?
I can't remember that far back now.
No, I just remember I was like, oh, we're lucky again, and then it wasn't so great. But in terms for like what has kept me going, I guess just having like still been able to do my business, and that's really like what has kept me going. I've had to, as everyone says, pivot or adapt what I offer, and that was a real challenge for me, and that then personally helped me just keep sane throughout the year. You know, for me, I really like thrive off of structure and routine, so that's why I do really well like on a training plan, but I know that it works well just in all aspects of my life. So actually just working Monday to Friday, it still gave me that great structure. And I guess then as well, like with that, we launched the Running Hub, which created a community of people, and that's what really has kept me going. And especially now we're getting at the end of the year, everyone's sort of wrapping things up. Everyone's saying like how much of a positive like year it's been for them, despite everything else being pretty rubbish.
I think it's been really important as well for everyone to remember why they enjoy running. So mix training up a little bit, relax when you want to relax. I remember the start of the first lockdown, everyone was obsessed with elapsed time, weren't they? So we do things like the Ross Barkley 5k and things like that. So just have a bit of fun with it, as long as you're...
I think that was like a new feature to Strava, wasn't it? Like before you couldn't tell whether people had like...
Well, unless you really looked into it.
Yeah, but then it became like a little bit of a thing, didn't it? So... then you were like, oh, conscious if you stopped your watch at a road.
Especially when I was out with Nev and his dog, if they'd...
Yeah, guarantee within the first minute, Ziggy has to...
lubricate.
Do his business. So yeah, it's been tough, but I guess in general, exercise has been something that's really kept us both going, running.
Yeah, just hanging on to that hope.
Get
yourself in the best position to kick on when it is race time.
I feel bad actually because I've not given you any prep for these questions,
No, you
and I've
haven't.
got loads of notes in front of
She
me.
doesn't feel bad at all. So far.
I'll go first then, just so you've got time to think about it.
That's possibly worse. I'll tell you if I want to answer first or not.
Okay, so what was our most enjoyable run of the year? And this comes from This Man Runs. His name's John. Most enjoyable run.
I think I have 3 most enjoyable runs.
Okay.
So
in order, 3, 2, 1.
No. In no particular order. Big Half.
Yep.
Which was the last sort of mass event. Which, when you think back of it, 4 actually.
Oh, okay.
We were lucky that went ahead.
Yeah.
You know, but I enjoyed it.
Was it February? That was the end of near the end of
1st of March.
Oh, okay.
It was the week before we went to Cyprus that week.
Yeah, I think it was because I was away that weekend.
Yes.
And it was like the end of February.
But
yeah.
I ran the race well, and I ran a time that I was happy with to kick the year on with, or so I thought at the time. Little did I know that would be the half marathon to end the year with.
Yeah.
The reason I did a 4th in there is because generally actually all the runs when we were in Cyprus was good. I'm sure Katie's done other podcasts and videos about that, but that was a good week away, even with the controversy of the race being cancelled, this, that and the other.
I didn't really do much about Cyprus because it was like a...
Okay, well we won't get onto that too much now.
But we were there to do a race, which didn't happen, and then that was the week that everything basically unfolded.
That just turned into a week-long training camp, so
Yeah.
I got sort of 80 miles in that week with some good session work, some good drinking and eating as well mixed in. So
It's good fun.
It's good. Then my other 2 favourite runs, we did I think we were still in the first lockdown, but the rules were starting to relax a bit so we could run in groups again, and we did a 20 miler. Oh, I did a 20 miler, you did a 13 miler, Devon did a 15 miler, Nev did 20. I think Naomi was with us, did 12.
Yeah. Oh no, was Naomi on the bike on that day?
Yes, that's right, Naomi was on the bike.
That was the
because then
day
you jumped on the bike to finish the miles with me.
Oh, was that one of your most enjoyable
Yeah, I enjoyed
ones?
that one. And
We went a little bit off road to start off with, didn't we?
we went into the countryside. I wouldn't say we went off the road, went off the beaten track maybe. It was just a nice sunny day. I finished strong, first 20 miler of the year, building up for the marathon that was never to be. But so. And then I'm sure many people can relate. My other favourite run would be a time trial. I'm sure everyone done some time trials this year, but I did a 5k time trial down Railway Walk and ran my 3rd fastest 5k ever, and my fastest for about 3 years, which I'm not a fan of time trials then. Well, this year I've had to become a fan of time trials, but I never thought I could get the best out of myself during sort of an individual run. Although I had Dad on the bike with me.
Yeah.
And Devon a few minutes in front, but yeah, I enjoyed that run.
Yeah, that's good though. Good mix of like both performance-based ones and enjoyable ones. Yeah, because for me, I wrote quite a few, but one of my favourite ones that stuck out in my mind was one that we did. Do you know the like woven loop that you found when you go through the deer park, and it was like quite undulating?
The one you whinged about the whole time.
No, I didn't.
No, I'm joking.
Oh, I was going to say, I was like, no, that was that
You
one.
did have a walk up the hill though.
Yeah, but that was a massive hill. But still, if I walked,
Yeah.
it's fine. But it was one of my most enjoyable ones because it was a brand new route. It was like a really nice day. It wasn't easy because of the undulation, but I said...
Still when we're in the midst of lockdown, wasn't it? So it was nice to see Aidan and Julie on the way back.
Yeah, but I like said that I just really enjoyed it because, you know, you go down a road and I think you turn left and then there's just like a long stretch which is quite downhill, maybe.
Coming into Ridgemont.
Yeah, that one. And I just remember like seeing like the countryside and thinking, I can't wait to show this run off to other people. And in the end, like, I took Sammy on it when we were allowed to. So yeah, that was one of my favourite ones. I really enjoyed like the MK Reimagined weekend runs.
Yeah.
So in September there was the Milton Keynes Marathon put on basically some new routes for people to go and do. And
Now she has done another video about that you can watch. Plug.
Have I?
Yeah, the 5k training.
There was a 5k time trial before that.
Yeah, which was the Reimagined.
Yeah, okay. I'll leave a link. I did a time trial of the course, but just in general that people were doing all distances from 5k all the way up to marathon, and it was just really nice to experience that again and have that, like, because it was over a couple of weekends, but you know, you could just on your own go off and do the routes. And it just felt like a race weekend because people were like there the whole time. There was just a flow of people, like not obviously many, but it was just good. And then also the Ultra 5k that I did, that was my first race back in the summer, in July maybe. I hadn't raced really much because I had a bit of a spell of injury at the start of the year, so I didn't get to do any of the races that other people were fortunate enough to do before lockdown really
Yeah,
hit.
and I think the only race that you could have done was the cross country, which you didn't do because we had a race on the Sunday, which then got cancelled because of wind.
I did do one cross country. I did the one in January.
Okay, forgive you then.
Yeah, no, that's the one. Then the next day, that's when my injury came up.
Oh yeah.
I hurt my
Blame
back.
cross country.
And then, yeah, the second cross country, we were gonna.
Campbell Park.
But we were travelling to go to do the Mad Dog.
Yeah.
And which got.
So we stayed and watched the cross country. Had we raced? Well, we didn't race because we were racing the next day. But
I
we
was
did
too
race the next
scared to
day.
do cross country because I'd hurt my back the time before, so I was scared. I am a wimp with cross country, but still. So yeah, really like some enjoyable runs. Like more so in like the group stuff, I guess. I do enjoy stuff on my own, but personally as well, I really enjoy the groups. So next question: what are your plans and goals for 2021?
For me, it's now to enjoy this couple of rest weeks at the end of this year. Then January we start building the base for essentially building a good platform for racing again when racing starts. I think that's the simple answer, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, and when I answered this question on the podcast before, this was when like tier 4 hadn't come into play, so we were still like sitting in tier 2 at the time.
Yeah, 2 or 3 weeks ago, it's looking really hopeful that we'd, well, race now.
Yeah, it was just like, oh, you know, especially like with the hope of the vaccine, everything seemed to be going in the right direction, and then it's all kind of turned in the last few weeks. But I am going to still like plan as I mean to. So we have a wall planner now, which has got some races on, and I'm hoping to get a marathon under my belt in the spring. I haven't done a marathon since New York 2019, so I feel like I purposely wanted to take 2020 off of marathons to give myself a bit of a break, and it worked anyway. But now I feel like I'm ready to get back into the swing of marathons, and I do know that I am my fittest when I'm marathon training just because of the endurance, and I just this year have not been able to. I think maybe the longest distance run I've done is about 14, 15. I don't think I've done much further than that. I have just a mental block if I'm not marathon training to go over that distance. Just like, I know some people can just go and run further than that for fun, but for me, I have to feel like I have to be marathon training. So that's the focus at the start of the year. I also just want to improve on weaknesses, which I think is, this start of the year is going to be a great time to do that. So working on cross training, ensuring that I'm doing extra strength training, because although I teach my class...
Keeping your hands off those Prosecco bottles as well, the way it's going.
It's December and it's been my birthday. Well, I'll polish them all off before the start of the year. And what was it? I was going to say, with the strength training, I teach my classes. However, teaching versus doing your own session is slightly different. So I know that just teaching my classes is not enough. So I do need to do some extra. So yeah, work on those weaknesses, and then hopefully in the autumn we have Berlin. But both of us have got Berlin booked, and then we're running for Children with Cancer UK, and then I also have a space for London, which is a week later. So it's all quite up in the air. We both know that we'd like to drop into a 10k and a half marathon. Personally, I wanted this year to like improve upon those shorter distance times, but because of my injury at the start of the year, you know, just running for enjoyment for most of the rest of the year, haven't been able to get back to those times yet. So yeah, for me, I'd really like to be able to be in that shape, and if there's not a race, I'm sure there will be something. But you know, I think I could go up to a 10k time trial.
So yeah, stop shying away from them time trials, Katie Tucker.
I've done like a few 5k ones, and you know, got back to sub 20 this year, which was great. But yeah, personally, I don't think I could do anything over 10k for a time trial.
Accountability. Tell the camera you're going to do one.
No, because I don't want to. Half is fine if I'm in a race, but yeah. So this kind of leads on quite nicely to the next question about how to approach planning goals for 2021 as things are a bit uncertain. So for me, I just think just plan as what you originally had planned for, and if things need to change, then so be it. I think you just have to be very acceptable and adaptable with your goals.
And as I touched on, just make sure your body and your mental state is ready in the right place for when we get the green flag, essentially.
Yeah, and also as well, just like include stuff that you really enjoy, because again, like you said about clients, and we've been speaking to a few clients this week, and they are struggling at the moment with their motivation because of I think that every time a new announcement gets brought around, it brings that uneasiness with everything, and it is tough. So I've just said to like everyone that's running over Christmas, the break, I was like, just go and like ignore the plan if you want to, within reason obviously, but just go and have some fun, and just because now is the time to relax a little bit, have that downtime, and then in 2021 you can then start afresh in the next block and move towards the next goal. So I think just stick with your original plan, adapt if needs be, but then also have like smaller targets throughout the year. I think that's going to really help keep your motivation high, just if you're constantly having something small to get towards, and then naturally all of those smaller targets are going to lead on to bigger progress. And yeah, rather than maybe it being a performance goal, think about, can you be more consistent in your training? Do you need more structure? Do you need accountability from a coach? Do you need to work on those weaknesses in terms of like your posture, your form, your core work, your strength work, all that kind of thing? So yeah, just plan as you mean to go on, make sure that you enjoy it, mix it up with variety, and just adapt if needs be, I guess.
Nail on the head.
Okay. What would you say your proudest moment of 2020 is?
Not walking in the winter half last week.
Well done, proud of you.
No, I don't know. I'm really glad with the training I put in over the year, to be honest. Not had the rewards as such because we haven't had the races to do it in, but I know I've banked some good miles, and that should hopefully pay dividends in the new year.
I guess as well for you though, it's been good you've experimented a little bit.
Yeah.
And so you said to me before that you kind of now know like what your comfortable mileage is that is like sustainable.
Yeah.
Versus then what's probably a bit too much and probably is a bit unachievable. So I guess that's a good thing.
Yeah.
For you. Anything else or?
Especially the latter part of the year, I've worked well on trying to make my easy runs exactly that, easy. They might still be fast, they might still be slow, whatever, just really trying to relax the body and worry about heart rate more than pace, and actually just don't worry about anything, just run. Just
run easy. Yeah.
And my session work, I think, has reacted well to that.
So for me, some proud moments of 2020, I said this in the podcast, it's just actually like getting through the year. Like,
well done. We're here.
Like that's
November
it. Like
24th.
Just the fact that we've managed to get through the year.
Yeah.
You know, we're still trained.
I haven't killed you while we've been locked down together.
Exactly.
Still a few days of the year left.
I'm still here to tell the tale. So yeah, I think just to everyone out there, like we've faced the challenges, we've got over those hurdles, and however we've battled through, we've managed to keep going, I guess. As well, like the running hub has been a huge like proud moment for me, not only setting up and launching the podcast, keeping that podcast going, because I could have just said, well, the idea of how I originally saw it going would have been affected by COVID, but still managed to speak to some brilliant guests that kept me inspired throughout the whole year, and really enjoyed putting it together. And then as well, just launching the running hub community itself, because I couldn't start, like, I had to stop seeing clients face to face, but obviously still wanted to provide that service for my clients, and also saw a need in the market for providing online strength and core classes for runners. And it was just like the perfect timing, and the fact that it's really thrived.
Stars aligned, didn't they?
Yeah, and it's just really thrived, and we've and it's testament now for all the feedback we're getting at the end of the year from people saying how much that they enjoy being part of the community. They felt really supported throughout the year, and yeah, it's just a really good bunch of people. So yeah, some really good moments for me this year in general. So yeah, Sorry, we just had to pause the video then, but we're back. We're here just to basically finish and recap the takeaways from this year. So what?
Plenty of takeaways. We had Chinese, Turkish, Indian. Turkish a few times actually.
We never had a Chinese or an Indian. We had a lot of Turkish.
Okay.
Basically, how many restaurants must there be? You did a tally the other day. How many is there?
I don't know, 7, 8, 9.
7
10.
or 8. We probably like tried each one throughout the whole year. Turkish is our favourite. So yeah, I guess like what are you taking away from this year, and also maybe like what are you taking less of and more of into 2021? So what are you leaving behind and what are you taking into?
I think I've learnt a bit about my body and my training.
Mm-hmm.
And we shall see how that unfolds into my training plan into the new year.
Yeah. What are you taking more of into
I
2021?
can't make my secrets out, I'm afraid. Let my race and do the talking.
That's a pretty poor answer.
No, but it's about everybody individually should learn about themselves,
Mm-hmm.
and then they can adapt their training, however that may be.
Yeah. So I guess for me the takeaways are that I actually really thrive on a plan, and without a plan I find it really difficult to gain that progress. So I really enjoy being on plan. So yeah, that's definitely something that I've taken away from this year, and this has kind of showed me that
There's been some really cool trainers come out in 2020 as well though. There's been no racing, that's one positive.
Yep, a lot of trainers. So yeah, you've been kept excited throughout the year of the different trainers that have been
Yeah,
coming
the
out.
different challenges of how to get them in the house.
Without me seeing.
Not really seeing them.
And I guess it's made me realise that I'm quite resilient in terms of like business, and I can take that forward. And as well that despite sometimes feeling negative myself, I can still spread positivity. I feel like I've, given a lot of energy into staying positive this year, and definitely trying to give that to all my clients. It's like you always give me advice and I always give my clients advice, but it's hard to take it yourself. And
Yeah, I was going to say this positivity you give the clients, I think you steal off me.
well, no, then I probably give too much and I don't save any for myself. So yeah.
Poor me, drained at the source here.
Okay. So yeah, probably that's one thing I'm going to leave behind is like negative self-belief, because yeah, but this is why you're my coach. This is why I have you to be accountable too, so that you can help.
You find it easy to whinge at me.
Like to help prop me up and like make me believe in myself. But I do.
Supposed to coach your running, not your life.
You're a life coach now, Chase. But it has made me realise that if I want to change, I have to shake up my training, because I feel like I have, like especially this year, I obviously realised that I can get to a certain level, like with
the definition of stupid is doing the same thing and expecting different results.
Yeah, but I know that I can hit a certain level. So like training to get a sub 25k I can do, getting a 130, a low 130 something is achievable for me, but I need to really sort of shake things up next year if I want to take it further.
Give yourself a kick up the arse essentially.
Yeah, because I feel like I have kind of almost reached my limit, if that makes sense.
This limit.
Yeah.
This limit, not the limit, this limit.
Yeah.
Time to level up, as you would say.
Yeah, level up.
Go on, sing.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, let's go!
Okay, I'll probably cut that bit out, maybe.
No, why not?
No, I'm joking.
Did you not hear me singing this morning?
Yes, I did.
No.
I was supposed to be sleeping. Another one of those Thursday mornings where you pretend to be quiet.
Thursday mornings I teach an early class.
She always accidentally forgets to get her clothes out so the light goes on. Sorry. Not sorry. Not bloody
And then
sorry. If you weren't sorry,
we did a 12 days of Christmas workout, so I was singing
Yes,
on
I know.
the 7th day of Christmas.
I could recreate.
Clean Coach Katie gave to me 7 calf raises, 6 tricep dips, 5 squat jumps. I said that I wasn't going to sing to them because I didn't want to put them through that, but then
And
I
now
did.
everyone on YouTube gets to hear it as well.
It was great fun. It was really good fun. But yeah, we're digressing. So
Sounds like time to wrap it up.
most certainly. So if you need a bit more direction in 2021, but big announcement, James is joining the coaching team. So he's going to take on his own set of athletes. Obviously he helps me naturally in
Been
terms
behind
of
the scenes.
yeah, in my coaching, and just in terms of like input and feedback into Clean Coach Katie anyway. So it just seems the perfect time to take James on board and let him be not let him be, but make him an official
Make sound worse than let him be.
mate.
Invite on board.
Yeah, but when I make
The running hub is growing.
Yeah. So
And the
James.
coaching base is growing with it.
Yeah. So James is coming on board. It's like really exciting times for both of us.
Buzzing.
Yeah, and it's like it's created a nice little buzz within our community. So, you know, if we can create that buzz for them, then that will reflect on their performance. So if you need some help with in 2021 with accountability, with some structure, figuring out what
Come see me, not Kate.
don't mix. Everything's a competition now. It's going to be like, oh, who like.
My client's going to be quicker than Kate's client as well, so if you're watching this, guys, competition is on.
You should give it one big team.
Of course, of course.
But yeah, thank you. Thanks for watching. Let us know if you're recapping your 2020 and reflecting. I always think it's a good thing to do. A good what do you call it? A good exercise to do. And then yeah, it helps you. I feel like by reflecting on 2020, it's made us like build into what we want to do.
Yeah, but I think it's really
year.
important as well, because I see too many people trying to say, "Oh, let's throw 2020 out the window and start 2021." I think that's bad, because at the end of the day, let's be real, 2021 isn't going to start as positive as we'd like it to. But we've all grown through 2020, so let's keep that resilience and strength and move on.
Yeah, most certainly. Like I'm sure a lot of us will want to see the back of the
And
year.
I can't speak for us today because that was so good. I'm done.
But no, James is right. Like I'm sure everyone wants to see the back of 2020.
There's no magic that's going to happen when Big Bell chimes. Like COVID's not going to go. Races aren't back on January 1st.
But also, I feel that yeah, you're right. Like people want to see the back of the year, but then it's also good to like look back on and like what have you actually achieved this year. That's also really good, because it's a good
good opportunity to drop some of the crap, as it were, but keep the good stuff with you. Keep the strength you've grown.
Yeah. So
let's move on, and we will be in the spring and in the summer at some point, and in a better world, as it were.
Yeah. So Happy New Year to you all.
Merry Christmas.
And see you in 2021.